So I just had a friend of mine invite me to go on a trip with her to Marrakesh and Morocco and then going on to Portugal. And it kind of occurred to me that maybe I might start documenting this and in my process. Like, how do I decide whether or not to go on an international trip, and whether or not I can make that doable, and things like that. So in general, I have three things, like kind of three questions that I answer um, before I take a big international trip. Or, really these things can be extrapolated to real life as well. But first of all is, and shout out to my friend Leslie for kind of giving me this language, but it's also something that I think about, is the first thing is, does this idea, like I listen to my heart a little bit, like, does this idea make me feel alive? How do I feel when I imagine myself walking the streets of Marrakesh or in Portugal? Does it make my heart kind of come alive? And if that is the case, then I go into my gut and I say, what does my gut say? Like, what's my gut reaction? And sometimes I even do this little thing where I ask the question of, should I go? And if I notice immediately my body leans forward, it kind of means my gut wants to go, that my gut feels like it's a good idea, that it's something I need to do. If I notice I move back, then maybe it's not the right time. It might sound a little woo-woo, but honestly, it kind of works. It tells me how to check in with my gut. And I think that's so important to know what our gut says. What's our gut telling us? Is this a good idea or is this not? And then often, that's kind of a good reaction, but then sometimes my gut says, and this is what I was talking to my friend about today, is my gut says, I need to go, that this is a good decision, that it'll make me feel alive, and that I'll be inspired, and I'll get some things done that I need to get done, that I've been talking about. But the other, which kind of leads into my third question, or my third thing that I do, is because sometimes when we go into our gut, what happens to me is, like, an hour later or the next day or the next morning or in the middle of the night, I can be like, oh my gosh, what am I thinking? I got so many things to do in my house. I got to do this. I got to have all that done before I leave, blah, blah, blah. And then we kind of talk ourselves out of it and think, oh my gosh, it's so impractical. I can't actually do that. And so what I do then is I go for a walk, because a lot of times just the act of walking or running or whatever it is that you like to do for exercise, to kind of get out and get your feet moving, it helps you problem solve. It's really interesting how it works, but I think it's why people get like great ideas when they're just out walking. So sometimes when you're out walking, you suddenly go, oh my gosh, like for me, I was thinking about the finances and stuff like that, and then as I'm walking, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what if if I invited another friend to come with me, or whatever it is, or oh, if I stay longer, sometimes there's a discount. And so these things come to your mind that kind of help you troubleshoot and problem solve. And then I always check in with my gut again. But those are my three things. I ask, does it make me feel alive? I check in with my gut, and then I walk it out.